Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. We are here once again. And I am probably lagging as I get everything set up and situated, just like last week. Hello, words. Hi. So today is going to be the first episode of 20 questions, which I am very excited about. And we have the one and only Gamer Doc. If you aren't familiar with her, she has her own Twitch stream that she hosts. She's been playing a lot of Ocarina of Time. I'm not sure if she's finished that yet. We'll have to ask her. She is a medical doctor. She is that kind of doctor. And she specializes in esports medicine. So I'm very excited to chat with her today. And I hope you guys are too. One second. There we go. Okay. Sorry, technical difficulties. I mean, it's going to be like this for a while, I have to be honest. I am not the most IT savvy person. But before we bring GamerDoc on here, I wanted to first just say hello, but also do a little bit of a science bit this morning because there was a little bit of excitement this week. I published a new article with Medium talking about Joe Rogan. I know I just can't seem to let it go. I can let it go now. Now it's off on paper and I can let it go. But as some of you may or may not be aware, Joe Rogan has a podcast and he has a lot of different hot takes, but gaming was the focus of his hot take recently. And he was talking about how he thought games were a waste of time. Hello, BBS Fryman. Welcome. He was talking about how he thought games were a waste of time. And as we know from the research, games can do a whole lot of wonderful things. Happy Saturday, Mr. Gao. Nice to see you. I told GamerDoc that you might be here. So I wanted to write an article just in response to why it matters when people say things that are not true about games. People like Joe Rogan or people like anybody in the media, honestly. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link in the chat. You can check it out later if that's something that interests you. To know, it's one thing to talk about games frivolously, but it's another if you have a platform. And that's how misinformation spreads and festers. And that's why we're kind of in the place we're in now and have been for the last 50 years about games and their reputation that they have in popular media as being particularly bad. They don't cause violence. They don't make us antisocial. None of those things are true, at least according to the research. But those thoughts persist. Anywho, without further ado, I would love to bring on my guest, GamerDoc, and we can start our game of 20 questions. Here we go. Hey. There she is. Hi. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming to be here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dr. Coer. Looking forward to it. Streaming on a Saturday, something I never do, but for you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hi, Geek Scuffy. Hi. Well, the reason that I'm forcing you to be here on a Saturday is because, little known fact, I was the first guest on your Twitch stream. And so I thought it was only proper that you were the first guest on mine. So this is like a full circle moment here.
Full circle moment.
It's exciting.
It's like November of last year.
Was it?
Was it August?
Oh my God, was it that long ago? What is time?
I know we're getting
What?
old.
Well, well, I mean, COVID time perception is also
Yeah.
a thing. I can't believe it's been that long. That's blowing my mind. Okay, let's get started because I started this idea of 20 questions because I think that pulling the screen behind the science of games, part of that is pulling the screen behind the people who work in the science of games. And GamerDoc is one of those people. And for people who want to come into the industry or for people who want to understand the way the industry works, both games and game adjacent, I think it's important that we have these conversations and we talk to people who are working within it. I seem to be lagging a bit. You know, I could be. I can't say I necessarily know how to fix that. I am getting a new computer next week, and I think
A
that will
Mac
help.
just wasn't built for streaming. There's just not enough RAM to host
You know,
video and stream at the same time. So,
I know.
sometimes we be dropping frames, but whatever. Treat it like
We're
a
gonna
podcast. Close your eyes. Listen to her voice.
close your eyes. Yes, we will talk in our most soothing radio voices. We will do that. All right, Gamer Doc, tell me. What inspired you? Question number 1. What inspired you to pursue a games in esports medicine?
You know, I think one of my greatest personality attributes, but also my worst personality attributes, is that I don't do things that I don't want to do. I believe that life is very short,
It
that
is.
we are given a very finite amount of time, and that we should fill that time with the things we love. And so, medicine, I am good at it. Do I love it? The current constructs of it, not necessarily, but treating gamers, treating esports athlete is something that I'm passionate about. So, this is something that I want to do. And so I'm doing it.
Yeah. You go for it. You make your own dream job. Huh?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I can't say I know any other people who specialize in esports medicine. Are you the only one? Are there others like you?
There's 5 of us.
Okay. That's it.
Right.
There's just 5?
So I'm the only one who is outward facing. There's a lot of sports medicine doctors who are treating esports athletes who don't do anything with the public right now.
Okay.
A lot of my colleagues, well, they're not my colleagues anymore. Now I guess they're just friends. But I'm the only one outwardly facing, saying, this is what I do, and you guys should listen to me. So,
well, you do a good job at it. I'm listening.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I know
appreciate you. So what would you say then is the biggest misconception? So when you go into a room and you say, I'm an esports medicine doctor, what's like the biggest misconception people have about what you do on your day-to-day?
That's hard because for like the past 5 years, I've been walking around a hospital with a white coat on, in professional clothing with a big badge that says doctor. And now I'm like behind a computer screen trying to like Zoom chat with these pros who have no idea who I am. I'm not wearing a white coat because I don't believe in them. And so I think it's hard because it's like doctors at the end of the day are humans, and people forget that sometimes because like we try our best, but we do make mistakes. And maybe we make the wrong call sometimes, So for me, a big misconception is that people blindly follow their physician. And I think the important thing is you want to do your own research. And if you don't like what they say, you want to get a second opinion. So, one of the big misconceptions is that I am also a human. I'm also a human being.
Yeah. I think that's a common misconception too, just from like anyone in the medical field. Like I'm not a therapist, but I feel like that's also a view that people have about therapists. Like, oh, yeah, you're a human with feelings and you do things. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then would you say, I mean, you kind of answered the next question. You spend most of the time during the day on Zoom calls, it sounds like.
I do spend a lot of time on Zoom calls. I have this problem where I flourish in a scheduled environment because of the ADHD is strong with this one. But when you schedule stuff and your brain becomes automatic instead of purposeful, you tend to rely on that automaticity and you tend to think a lot
Mm-hmm.
less. So,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, what I've been trying to work for in my daily schedule is thinking more, like critically thinking about what I want to do, what I want my impact to be, what I want my
Mm-hmm.
message to be, and then figuring out how to do that instead of just going through my Twitch VODs and making videos out of them and making content out of
Right.
them and writing articles on trendy topics. Like actually thinking about one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever been given is how do you want to grow on social media? Well, put out content that people need, that
Right.
they actually need.
Right.
Um, yeah, so thinking about that, it really takes up a significant portion of my day, which is it's something I'm going to try to change. It's something I've been trying to work on, which is just like growing.
Yeah. No, it's like you made a video about gamers' thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about content that people need because it got shared a whole lot. I mean, even I was
Yeah.
like doing the stretches, and I mean, there's something
Yeah.
to be said about creating content that's funny is great. That also serves a purpose as well. But creating content that it has usable, tangible information that people can take into their everyday lives is really valuable.
Yeah.
There's
It's funny because that gamer's thumb graphic I made 2 years ago, and I have shared maybe 3 or 4 times. But so content that is evergreen, content that you have that's never going to go out of style, uh, is very valuable. And one of the things I say is like, don't be afraid to repost evergreen content. And
right,
that was a perfect example. I posted this like 3 or 4 times, and it didn't get a lot of traction. And the fourth time I posted it, it got 1 million impressions.
right.
And it's just like, don't be afraid to repost that evergreen content.
Yeah, that is good advice. I'm going to take that and keep that one in my pocket.
Yeah, keep in that back
There's
pocket.
Coach Drake wants to know, and also Geek Scoppy. Hi, loves. Hi, Sarah. Why do you not believe in white coats?
I think that there's a lot of gatekeeping in medicine. There's a lot of like hero worship bullshit in medicine. Sorry, I'm not allowed to swear.
I think you are. Yeah, I think it's
Um,
fun.
I think that you walk into a room with this person and they're wearing a white coat and they have this power over you, and it puts a barrier between you and them. But also, like when they're wearing that white coat, it automatically conveys authority and respect. And I think that
Mm,
even as a physician, you need to earn authority and respect. If you cannot gain the trust of your patient without a white coat, you don't deserve their trust. I believe you should earn the trust of your patient via the way you talk to them, the way you interact with them, your interpersonal relationships, the way you convey your advice. And so I don't think that I think that white coats kind of set up this power dynamic that is unhealthy in the long run. To be honest
right,
with you.
right. That makes sense. It creates a barrier also
Mm-hmm.
between you and your clients.
Yeah.
Patients, not clients. You can tell I have therapy mind.
Therapy is strong with this one.
It is. It really is. So, one piece of advice for those wanting to pursue a career in esports medicine.
Uh, I think that my advice for people wanting to get into a career in any field is usually the same. Um, Use social media. Use it
Mm,
correctly. Years and years ago, if you wanted to market yourself, if you wanted to get into new fields that you weren't involved in, you had to hire a publicist, you had to hire an
right.
agent, you had to create ads, you had to, get on talk shows, you had to get on news segments, and now all you need
Yeah.
is your phone. All you don't even
Yeah.
need a
Yeah.
computer, all you need is your phone. And using social media, you can become the expert in any field. I use
Yeah.
Twitter to become the number one voice of esports medicine out there.
Mm-hmm.
Only using Twitter. That's all. And I think that before I didn't really like social media because it was just like people from my high school sharing pictures of their babies, just like ignorant political
I don't
opinion.
look guilty right now, but go on. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think using social media, correctly is one of the
Mm-hmm.
best tools you can have in your toolbox in this day and age, because on social media, if I want to be the number one go-to Twitter voice on sports medicine. All I have to do is go to, the top 5 people in sports medicine. So I'm going to go to the journal that publishes sports medicine. I'm going to go to the number 1 sports medicine doctor and like 3 other accessories. And I'm going to put my notifications on for them. And every time they post, I'm going to reply with something intelligent and something thought stimulating. And then, I'm going to do that for 3 months. And then all of a sudden people are going to see my name and think that, and see it synonymous with that thing that I'm talking about. And then you start creating your own content, and then you start, amplifying other people's voices. So social media is just such a powerful tool. So if you're trying to get involved in any field, you got to learn how to effectively use social media.
Yeah, for sure. Especially games.
Yeah.
Because it's particularly, we games. All are, as a community, are particularly active on social media, right?
Very, yes.
Yeah. Social media, that's funny. I wonder 20 years ago what the piece of advice would be. I guess esports medicine wasn't a thing 20 years ago.
No, it wasn't.
All right, question number 5. Not to, delve into any particular trigger warnings. 3 adjectives to describe your graduate school experience.
So I went to medical school.
That's great.
In Long Island. Toxic is probably number 1.
No good.
People are trying to get ahead of one another. There's no camaraderie. Everyone's ranked, right? So you want to be number 1. Eyelash in my eye. You want to be number 1 at the cost of everything. So people are cutthroat. It was exhausting. It was completely exhausting. I studied for, 14 hours a day, and then I worked out, and then I played video games at night. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. And then, but I think lastly, empowering. I think growing up, a lot of us, especially if we're from like the Midwest or the South, or you're a woman or a person of color, you don't think that you're as smart as everyone else, right? You've been brought up a certain way, either humble, either putting the needs of others before yourself. And med school was really when we started getting aggressively ranked that I realized that I am smart, I am intelligent, I do have good ideas. So med school was empowering at the end of the day.
That's a really good point. I think a lot of people, when they talk about graduate school, the bad adjectives are the first ones to come to mind. How long is your graduate school to become a doctor? So you have bachelor's degree, obviously, and then you have what? 4 years?
I did 4 years, or I did 3.5 years of undergraduate. I graduated early, and then I took a year and a half off to play professional rugby for Team USA. And then I went to med school for 4 years. And then I did 4 years of postgraduate training.
Okay. So it's 4 years of like education based, and then 4 years of on the floor, like skills based. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's a lot. It's a lot of school. I thought I did a lot of school. You did more school than me. So what would your parents say if I asked them to tell me what you do?
Oh God. So I come from a very supportive family who is from the Midwest and works very hard. My mom was raised us and then went back to school and got her master's in teaching, became a teacher. My dad dropped out of college and started working at this t-shirt printing shop, and then ended up buying this t-shirt printing shop and working at it for our entire life. So they both are very, very, very hard workers, who were like very first generation people. So they're just like simply proud of me at the end of the day for being a doctor. So they just only say that she's a doctor. Okay. They're like, what is your daughter? She's a doctor. What kind of, she's a doctor.
Doesn't matter what kind. She's a doctor.
Doesn't matter. She's a doctor.
Are they aware of your esports specialization though? Like they get it, they understand it, or is it just she's a doctor?
Anyone over 50 understand it?
I mean, surface level. Like my mom will say, if you ask my mom, she'd be like, she studies games. Like she understands it on a surface level.
They my dad is like a big merch guy, so I always got him college merch or med school merch or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he
Mm-hmm.
has Gamer Doc merch that he wears all the time.
Oh, that's really sweet.
All the time.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. My nephew he's 3 and he has a huge head, like huge. And so he fits into an adult sized beanie, and
Oh
he has a
wow.
Gamer Doc hat that he wears.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to get one for my babies. They also have big heads, so I can get the adult size. I ordered
Oh,
a
they're not that
Triceratops.
big.
They're pretty big. They're pretty big.
Jude's head isn't as big now that he like has shorter hair though.
My son Jude is turning 3 this month, and he wears a child helmet made for children age 6 to 12. I'm not even joking. My daughter has a hockey helmet. My daughter is 5, almost 6, and when she was doing ice skating, you need a hockey helmet, and she has a teenager hockey helmet.
Wow.
I know, they got big heads.
It's because they're
Big
full
brains,
of brains.
big brains. You know,
Yeah, big brains.
I mean, that's what I like to say. Okay, so next question. What is one book you've read about games or gaming that you would recommend to everyone?
So this is a hard question because the most beneficial game or book that I've read about gaming is Esports and How to Spell It by Paul Schloner, Red Eye. He is not a good dude though. He has been caught up in he did some bad stuff with the Me Too movement. He assaulted someone. So what I'm going to say is find an illegal pirated copy online. Don't give him any money. Don't pay for it. Don't tweet at him. But it's a book that will teach you the things that you need to know. It's like if a required reading in my U.S. literature class or my European literature class was Mein Kampf. Like, do we support Hitler? Absolutely not. But
right,
it's important to understand the mind of people who are different than us.
right.
So, it's a very comprehensive review of competitive video gaming to this day. I learned a lot. Like I think prior to reading that, I would say I knew like 65% of esports. But now I know like 80% of esports.
Oh wow. Okay. So that is a foundational text if you're interested in esports.
Yeah.
Generally.
But don't buy it. Pirate it.
We don't condone illegal activities, but you might be able to find it on the internet.
You might be able to just DM me. I'll send you a picture of it.
Okay, perfect. So is it more about who you know or what you know, do you think?
Is it, Dr. Cowart, do you believe it's more about nature or nurture?
I think it's more about nurture.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it's both, and then I was going to say
it is both, but both isn't the right answer. I was going to say both. It's obviously both, but you have to pick one. Is it about?
So it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, both. It's both. I'm sorry I ruined your bit.
Oh, cool.
Okay,
Oh, both.
Yeah.
You said both?
Yeah, both.
Oh my God, that's like exactly what I thought about your question.
Okay, good. Good.
I think that you have to have a fundamental base of knowledge. If you want to be an expert, you have to be the expert. You have to know everything that there is to know about your field, hands down. But that's not enough. It's not enough. I think a lot of people, when they first get into this, when they first get into streaming, when they first get into having a social media presence, they rely a lot on luck, right? They think, oh, I see Ninja, I see Tifu, I see all these people who have made this name for themselves, and I can do that. It's very easy. All I need to do is start streaming, and then I'll get hosted. People will see my gameplay, and then I'll get to the next level. It takes years and years and years and years of grinding to reach the level of success that you want to have. And a lot of that is who you know, but how do you meet those people, right, is the question. How do you make the connections with the people who are going to advance your career? And in esports, networking is very particular because gamers are a very good judge of bullshit, right? A lot of us don't play the flippant flattery game that involves networking.
Mhm.
We're not very good at small talk. So
Right.
we're not good with that like flattery that comes with the early phases of networking. So networking in esports is a lot of just genuinely being a good human, meeting
Mm.
people who are genuinely appreciate you, and then later when they have an opportunity they say, oh, this was a
Right.
cool dude, this was a cool lady, like I'm gonna ask them to come on to my show. It's a lot less of
Right.
just like giving out your card. So I
Right.
think you need a fundamental base of knowledge. You need to you know, genuinely network, and then you need a little bit of luck at the end. But like if right now, so if Ninja's back on Twitch, if he rated this stream with 40,000 viewers,
Yeah.
if we were entertaining and educational and
Right.
provided them something to remain, it wouldn't matter, right? Like
Right.
that wouldn't mean
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. That's
So
true. So the luck
yeah,
gets you the raid, but like the information is what's keeping them there.
right, yep,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially for me, it was very similar. Like it was a little bit of luck. Got me my jobs that I got throughout my career, my academic career. But if you don't have the information, then it doesn't matter.
right. You wouldn't have gotten
Yeah.
those jobs if you wouldn't
Yeah.
have been an intelligent human.
Right. Right. So, what would you say that you love most about what you do now?
I love being my own boss.
Oh,
I
that's a
just
good
love it.
one.
Going
Yeah.
back to the first thing I said, life's too short, to
Mm.
sit around listening to someone underqualified telling you what to do.
Oh my God.
I
Yeah.
I said no to some like more prestigious and higher paying jobs to be my own boss. And at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, I am so happy. I'm so
Yeah.
happy because
Yeah.
I just want to be doing the things that I want to be doing, and I don't want to be doing anything else. So that's like the best part of my day.
Yeah. You get to do what you want. You get to make your own hours. You get to work with people and doing things that you love. You can't put a price on that. Like,
And that's also the hardest thing about what I do,
mm,
because once you're your own boss, what is free time anymore?
that's
Like
true.
there's no work hours. I have an
Yeah.
idea, I'm laying in bed at 10 p.m. I have an idea, I write it down, I want to do it. So it's like
Yeah.
when do you make those partitions? When do you say I'm no longer working? Because the harder, when you're your own boss, the harder you work, the more successful you are. So
Yeah.
if you want to be successful, why aren't you working harder? So
Yeah.
that's
Those
also the hardest
boundaries are
part.
important, though. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that might be also like COVID on top of it, right? Because we're
Yeah,
all home now. Like,
yeah, yeah. I
we all
mean,
work from home now,
yeah.
regardless. How is it being a pro N64 player? Is a question from the audience.
I think that I'm just making sure it doesn't get go to my head. Being the number one overall rated Ocarina of Time player,
Yeah. Did
I
you
just want
finish
to make
it?
sure. No, no.
Oh, okay.
I lacerated my hand, dude, like
I
on the day
know.
before. But I'm just trying to make sure fame doesn't change me.
Right,
Like
right. Stay
fame can been
humble.
through a lot. I want to stay humble because ain't nobody wall jump like me.
No. Oh yes, the wall. Yeah. Oh yes, I do remember
Yeah.
that. So would you say then that you enjoy playing games more or less now that you work in the industry?
I have so much less free time now.
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah.
that reason I just discussed. If
Mhm.
it's Thursday, normally, so I used to work 24-hour shifts, and I'd get off work at 8 the next morning. And I used to just 8:30 get home, drink a beer because it's nighttime, and play Fortnite for like 10 hours. It was the best. Post-school days were the best. But now I'm like, well, I should sleep because I have to stream tonight, and then I should work on this paper I have to
Mhm.
do. I'm also trying to write this article. I want to edit those videos. So I
Mhm.
have a lot less free time to play video games. So I enjoy video games more now because I get to play them less. So it's like that
Right.
minuscule quality. And also, since I've been in the esports industry, I've met people like Pterodactyl and Selesme and Nano and Dashmaker and Mr. Gao who I can play video games with. So playing video games with people who you really enjoy and really appreciate and love,
Mm-hmm.
is really so much better than playing
Aw,
video games with random people. So
it's
definitely a
true.
lot more. Yeah.
Aw, that was really sweet.
When are we gonna
I
play video
also,
games together?
I know we need to. So I would have a similar answer in that I play games like never. When COVID started, I played Animal Crossing, and that's the first time I'd gotten into 30 minutes more of a game in years, literally years. But now I have more time. I have more time for
Yeah.
games, oddly, than I did before with COVID times. Even though my kids are home, so yeah, we should play. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Remake right now, though. That's not really a multiplayer type, but also really bad at things like Fortnite. So maybe I'll just cheer you
It's all
on
right.
from
I'll
the
carry
sides.
you.
Okay.
I'll
Oh
carry
yeah.
you.
I appreciate it. I do want to say to chat, I have chat open so I can see your comments. It's obviously lagging, and if there's any like follows or subscribes, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I can't see them. I'm having technical difficulties, but I promise next time it should be better. Okay, so that was the serious business portion of today's show.
Mm,
Now comes the fun part.
okay.
So I know. You're a little worried. Don't be worried. So this is the section 10 things we want to know about you, Gamer Doc. And I'm going to draw 10 random questions, and we're going to explore your psyche and see what we find in there. You ready? Before we begin, Pterodactyl has a bonus one. Cheetos or Milk Duds? I have to know.
Salty over sweet, always. Always.
I think salty
Always
or
salty
sweet is
over
a
sweet.
question in here, so we'll see. We'll see if we get that one again.
Unless
Now you
it's
know the answer.
Sour Patch Kids or hot tamales.
Oh, hot tamales. Okay, wait. Before I pick up a question, a follow up. What is your go-to movie theater candy then?
Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, Sour Patch
Sour
Kids.
Patch Kids.
Okay, good
100%.
choice.
But you sneak them in. You got to get the family size pack. Sneak them in. The same cost as like the individual size pack. Put them down your shirt. It's worth it.
You can't buy it at the movie theater. It's twice as expensive.
Okay. Also, Takis over hot Cheetos. And don't come at me with that weak sauce.
Just gonna let that one go. Okay, so question number 1. 10 things you want to know about you, Gamer Doc. Do you have a favorite podcast?
I love Kevin Naki's Esports 30 for 30. It's a bi-weekly podcast. It's 20 minutes long. He's kind of nerdy. He's very entertaining. He's humble. He provides you with really good information. I also love Radio Lab. Radio Lab is like a great scientific
Radio Lab.
podcast.
Yep.
And then the deep nerd of me loves Dan Carlin's Hardcore History. They're like 6 to 7 to 8 hour long podcasts on a specific event in history. It's a historical podcast. You got to watch road trips. So good.
Cool.
So good.
Those are lots of good suggestions, and it kind of like spanned really all of your interests. What is your go-to order at Italian restaurants?
So I am Italian. I was raised Italian. I was taught how to cook Italian. So going to an Italian restaurant, it's like they're not going to make food as good as I can make it. Like I make a really good sauce. I make a really good gnocchi. I make a really good pasta. I make a really good eggplant parmesan. So if I'm going to an Italian restaurant, I'm probably going to get like a dry red wine, like a Montepulciano for appetizer, and then like a bruschetta, and then probably a pasta as like my second appetizer, and then maybe some seafood, and then finish it with some pork.
What kind of pasta are you getting though? Are you getting tomato sauce? Are you getting Alfredo? Are you getting like something that they can't? I'm also Italian, so I understand the weird feelings about going to an Italian restaurant. And sometimes it's like, what is the least likely thing that won't be bad? Can I order that?
Is it fresh made pasta? If it's fresh made pasta, I just want garlic and olive oil on my pasta.
Oh, that is such a comfort food.
Parmesan.
Yes.
You know, I'm not
So
getting
good.
tomato sauce because I make.
Right. Well, we're gonna have a cook-off, you and me. We're gonna have a cook-off. My mom's
Oh my God, I
Sicilian.
love
Come
that.
on.
I would love Rich, or Dr. Ford, I would love nothing more than to spend a day at when we're supposed to be doing like video game conference stuff, just cooking with you for like
I
8 hours and
know.
just hanging out, getting to
Oh,
know you more, and just
I
like spending
know.
time together. I would love
One
that.
one
I would love
day,
that.
I would
I
love
would
that too.
absolutely love that.
One day in the post time, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Listening to music, like just chilling.
yeah,
Showing me pictures
dancing
of
in
your
the kitchen.
kids. I show you pictures of my dogs, Wearing
That would be
pajamas the whole
amazing.
time.
Yes, that sounds wonderful. We'll have
Yeah.
to just find a conference in DC, make it happen,
Yeah.
or Canada up here in Ottawa.
No, I'll come.
You
I'll
come,
come to you.
you come to me. Ottawa's lovely. We're
I
talking
will
about
come
Tim
to you.
Tams in the chat. Oh, thank you. Well, the
Mm.
border's closed, but in the post
So
times,
Tim
you're always
Tams,
welcome.
my
Tim
first
Tams.
introduction to Tim Tams.
Yum.
I was at a gay club. I was 19 years old, and I started dancing with this girl. One thing led to another, and I got her number,
You got
and I
Tim
texted
Tams?
her.
How was this?
I texted her, and she said, I was like, "Do you want to hang out?" And she's like,
Yeah.
"I'm leaving for Australia for 6 months tomorrow." So 2 months later, I flew to Australia,
No.
and I did, and I
Wow.
went and visited her for 2 weeks. I had Tim Tams. We dated for 3 years after
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a nice story.
yeah. I mean, she was very nice. She was a social worker for homeless gay kids.
Oh wow. And was she
Yeah.
Australian or she was just moving there?
No, she was studying abroad. She was a junior in college because I was a
Oh,
first year in college.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Tim Tams are delicious.
they are delicious.
I have a brother who lives in Australia, and once a year I get a care package of like Tim Tams of all varieties, and it's the highlight of the year.
Yes.
Um, were you a World of Warcraft player? That's not the
Yes.
question, but I'm asking. Okay, good. The question is Horde or Alliance?
Alliance.
Oh, my girl. I'm very proud. I'm very proud. I feel like
So
most people say Horde.
I'm Slytherin to the end of the day, only because Slytherin is not Durmstrang. Like Slytherin is still Hogwarts. Slytherin is still for the
Mm,
good.
mm.
Um, I I am for good. I am chaotic good. I'm chaotic, so it seems like I'm evil, but I'm good. Chaotic good. And so for the alliance all the time, I was an elf hunter. So
mm.
yeah,
Human and an elf hunter.
night elf hunter.
Mm,
Yeah,
nice.
not a
I
dark
was a night
elf.
elf. I was a night elf druid for the alliance.
Oh, we should play WoW together.
I know. That's the thing. So, talking about streaming, my computer can barely handle faces. I know we've been over this, but in a perfect world, when my computer can handle more than just faces, I was like, what could I stream? I was like, ooh, you can do vanilla WoW now.
Yeah,
No, that is
uh,
tempting.
it's funny because I had the same trajectory as you. I started streaming in September of last year, and I was streaming on my MacBook Air, and
You
it
feel
just
my
couldn't
pain.
the RAM couldn't handle
No.
anything other than my face, right?
Ah, right.
And then I built my own computer, and you were my first guest on my brand new computer.
I was, and it was
Hmm.
not podcast style like mine. Um, but yeah,
I
now I'll
wasn't
have
really
to.
sure what I was doing. But it's fine.
You did a great job. It was wonderful. I didn't know I was your first guest until you told me months later, and
I
then that's why
know.
I was like, you
And
have
that's
to
the
be my
thing,
first
though.
guest.
That's the thing that I learned about, that I learned through medicine and that I applied to esports is fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
just like power through. You know how smart you are. You know the capabilities you have and just apply them to what you're doing and
Yeah.
you're gonna have better outcomes.
Yeah. So true. So true. Just believe in yourself, kids. It's
Yeah.
true. It goes a long way. Okay, this is a Halloweenish question. Are candy apples really candy?
What's outside of it? Is it just caramel or is it
Well, I mean, they have candied
liquid?
ones, don't they? They have like the ones that are like hard. Though there's caramel ones too.
Because to
Are
me,
those
candy,
candy?
I'm from the Midwest, so we have apple orchards. You go to the apple orchard, you go to Apple Charlie's in the fall. You pick apples, you eat your candy apple, and you have an apple on a stick coated in caramel, sometimes with peanuts,
Yeah.
Walnuts? Pecans?
Yeah.
What's
They
the
put
outside of
stuff
them?
on the side. There's nuts of some kind. Some have sprinkles. Some
Yeah,
have
so if it's a
yeah.
sprinkle, it's then therefore candy, right?
Oh,
It's
okay.
therefore candy.
Okay.
But if you're just putting nuts on the outside, like that's just protein. It's just a balanced meal.
Okay.
You got your
So the
fiber,
drawing point.
you got your carbs, you got your
Yep.
protein.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a balanced meal.
it's a balanced meal.
But the sprinkles, that's what puts it over the edge. Okay.
Sprinkles is no longer appropriate, you know?
Well, sometimes too they're coated in like a candy shell that will like break your teeth. And that's not a candy, that's just a bad time. Honestly.
It's just poorly designed equipment.
It's just like a terrible idea. Who thought of that?
This is a terrible idea.
Do you meditate?
No. Mm-mm.
No. Not a fan?
I
Not interested?
I would love to be able to meditate. My brain moves at 7,000 miles an hour all the time. It does not stop, no matter what I'm doing. I cannot sit still. I cannot. I can't. I can't. So I would love to be able to meditate. I've tried. I've really tried. I haven't given it like a good try though. But sitting still is very challenging for me. Thinking about my own thoughts is very challenging to me as well, because I tend to wander. And I think that's what makes me very successful is that I come up with random ideas when I'm trying to concentrate on one thing. My brain goes in like 17 different directions.
Yeah.
No, I can't meditate.
No. Coach Drake wants to know where you lie on the D&D alignment chart. I guess you're chaotic. Good.
So I'm a WoW nerd. I'm a Fortnite nerd. I know a lot about Call of Duty. I know a lot about MOBAs. I've been getting good at RTS games, but I don't know anything about D&D.
Well, the alignments are the same.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. So chaotic, good. She'd be chaotic
Chaotic
good. You think that
Chaotic
she's
good.
bad. She's just feisty. But
Yeah,
good,
exactly.
good-natured. I play D&D on Clinical Role on Geeks Like Us every other week. I also don't know much about D&D, despite the fact that I've been playing it for over a year. I guess I'm definitely like in the good, neutral, good, reliably good, whatever that would be.
I think you're reliably good. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
I think that's not a thing, but that's what I am. Yeah.
Speaking of D&D, Dr. Hayes is going to be playing D&D on like Seven Spoons stream.
Yes, that's exciting. Put a link in there, Sarah. I learned last week that you could.
She's on a boat, so she may or may not be paying attention to us.
Oh, she's on a boat. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mario or Luigi?
Luigi, 100%.
Yeah, me too.
Luigi.
Me too.
That's
why we're such kindred
spirits.
spirits.
I'm used to not being in the number one spot, but then like being better.
No, wait. There's no way you're used to not being in the number one spot because Gamer Duck sent me a Snapchat the other day of her graduation, her little brochure that came with her graduation ceremony. She knows what I'm going to say. And all the people are listed with all of their little achievements. And then it was Gamer Duck and it was like, there's no way you're used to not being number one.
Yeah, but like I'm a redheaded female lesbian. That wasn't easy growing up.
Yeah.
You know that South Park episode about daywalkers and gingers came out when I was 16 years old.
Oh no.
You know, right when I'm struggling with having curly hair and being pale and not liking men, a whole series comes out making fun of me for having red hair.
Yeah.
And then I like had to come out and then I had to join medicine as a woman. So I've never, like, no one's ever rooted for me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's always been me against the world. And so I'm used to not being the front runner. So Luigi's always had a really special place in my heart because he's overshadowed by Mario. He is a little bit weird looking compared to Mario. He never gets the girl, but he's always trying. He's always there. So, Luigi's my boy.
Yeah.
Luigi's my boy.
Luigi's my boy too. I had an older brother, so I was Luigi by default. But you know what? He grew on me. I am fully in the Luigi camp.
I also had an older sister, and she's smarter than me, and she's better at most things than I am. So growing up, I also had that above my head. She's perfect. Like, she's great. She's a wonderful human. She's never, you know, done anything other than supported me. But she was also like my shadow growing up, you know?
Yeah. She
Or
was
I was in her
Mario.
shadow. I was her shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, things are getting real here. 20 questions this morning. This question was submitted by my 3-year-old son. It's very
Perfect.
important to him. Do you have a
Perfect.
favorite dinosaur?
T-Rex.
Oh, yeah, the king.
It's a T-Rex.
Yeah.
It's just, you come on the scene, people run. People know who you are.
Yeah.
You don't need a pack.
No.
Tiny arms. I really love tiny arms. Um,
Nobody's like, what dinosaur is that? Should we be concerned? No. You know.
right. Like, you
Yeah.
know who we are.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a T-Rex, but I want to be a T-Rex.
You're definitely a T-Rex.
All
You're
right,
definitely
Hulk.
a T-Rex. No question.
Okay, Hulk.
Okay. Hey, we make a good team. T-Rex and Hulk can take some things out. I mean, that
What
would be
dinosaur are you?
What dinosaur am I? I don't know.
Yeah.
My favorite dinosaur. I always liked Brontosaurus because they were like the
Yeah,
nice
I was
ones.
gonna say Brontosaurus, dude.
They're like nice and slow, and they eat
Dude, I was
plants,
gonna
and like
say
they're cuddly.
Brontosaurus.
Well,
But like,
you
you could
paid me.
stomp on someone if you wanted to.
True, just like the
True.
Hulk.
Like, if Brontosaurus wanted to rule
Oh
the
yeah,
reptile kingdom, they could.
yeah.
100%. They just don't. They choose not to.
They choose to just live a life of peace.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Vegetarianism. Just
But
like me.
you're right. Just get along. What is your favorite Thanksgiving side dish? Oh, you're from the Midwest. It's gonna be Sarah. I think Sarah Dactyl needs a cookbook. She tells me about all these weird things they eat in the Midwest. I say weird to me because I grew up in the South. But I'm very curious as to what your favorite dish is.
So it's hard because I'm a vegetarian, so there's not a lot of side dishes that are vegetarian. Mashed potatoes. My mom makes these mashed potatoes. She puts like 4 sticks of butter and like
Oh
3
yeah.
things of cream cheese in them. So it's like a creamy mashed potato side dish. Oh my God. Like,
Yeah.
I will eat the gravy, the turkey gravy, but that's all I really eat. And like mashed potatoes and salad and eggplant is like the only thing that I can eat at Thanksgiving. So it's fine. I just fun fact, Thanksgiving is the biggest holiday in my family.
Mhm.
I have a huge family. I have like 100-person family, and we're all very, very close. And everyone lives within 20 miles of each other
wow.
in Michigan. And so for Thanksgiving, everyone gets together, and there's like 100 people there. And my uncle hosts every year, and he has a full bar, a 10-person bar,
Oh wow.
with a dry bar, a wet bar, 100 bottles of alcohol, a keg, like a bunch of
Oh
taps.
wow.
And I made it through med school by bartending. So for the past 8 years now, I have bartended at Thanksgiving.
Oh wow.
And so I spend like 3 or 4 hours working and just serving drinks
Oh fun.
and making drinks for 100 people. And it was funny because in the beginning I was like a 19-year-old who thought bartending was fun and, looking up to my family members. And now I'm like 31 and, I think I deserve a little bit of respect, but people yell at me for like making their drink wrong. And I'm just like, Grandma, don't test me. Don't try
That's
me,
family.
Grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want more pickle juice in this dirty martini.
Right? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thoughts on Oreo salad?
What's that?
I don't know. Sarah brought it up. I guess it's a Midwest thing. Oreo
She's way
salad.
more Midwest than I am, dude.
Yeah. Sarah, you'll have to drop your recipe for Oreo salad in the chats, and then we will talk about it. She tells me about like hot fruit. She tells me about a lot of things that I've never heard of.
The weirdest stuff, dude.
Okay.
Well, the
so
thing is that I was raised by hippies. So my dad is a hippie. Like long hair, my hair hippie when he was younger. So like we weren't allowed to eat unhealthy stuff growing up. Like didn't have soda until I was like 13 years old.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like nothing was unhealthy in my house growing up. So I don't know a lot of stuff about like the OG Midwest stuff because like we weren't allowed to eat
Right.
like butter and stuff like that.
Oreo salad. That was a no.
Yeah, it's a no on me.
Coach Drake says you had a job during med school, so I guess you were bartending.
I bartended. Yeah, I bartended for a bunch of years. I bartended on Sundays at local bars because I'm like a big football nerd. And honestly, like for guys at a bar by themselves on a Sunday, what's more attractive than a lesbian in a football jersey who can out argue you on RB1 positions? So I made a lot of money bartending. So I kept doing that for a long time.
Nice.
Oreos and Cool Whip.
Yeah, okay, even you saw that. That's not a salad. I'm
It's not
gonna
a
say
salad.
I don't think that counts as a salad. That's just like
It doesn't
I don't know,
count
a
as a
trifle. It's a trifle.
Did you watch that episode of Friends where Rachel makes a trifle, but the
I
pages stick
did.
together?
I did. Thank you for the follow. I heard the Bing, but I can't see the name because I'm lacking. But thank you. I heard that. I'm rewatching Friends right now because it's on. What is it on? HBO, I think. You can rewatch all the episodes of Friends.
So problematic.
Okay, next one. I know the answer to this. City life or country life? Ooh, hesitation.
That's hard.
Is it?
It's hard. It is hard because if I was like a straight woman, I'd 100% pick country life. 100%.
Oh, interesting.
I love being in the middle of nowhere, not getting bothered by anyone, being by myself, being on a lake, chilling.
Yeah.
But like I want to not get targeted for my sexuality.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we quarantined in the woods 2 weeks or a month ago with my wife and our daughters. And we were walking the dogs, our daughters, and we came across this house and there was a Confederate flag. And there was a shotgun propped up outside on the porch.
No.
And we're in the middle of nowhere, right? Like we're in the middle of nowhere. And we didn't walk down that street again because I spent the summer between med school and med school and intern year on the Appalachian Trail for 3 months. And while I was on the Appalachian Trail, but 50 miles ahead of me, there were these two women who were on a date for the weekend. They decided to spend the weekend together on the Appalachian Trail, and they had made camp and were hanging out, and a hunter shot both of them when he saw them kissing.
No.
And they both were killed, and I hiked by the place that they died, and when they interviewed the hunter, he said he saw them kissing and he shot both of them. So I have to worry about certain things living, kind of in the South where I live right now. So I'm always going to live near a city because I feel comfortable living near a city, and I don't have to, I want to live my life the way I want to live my life without worrying about surviving. So.
Of course.
Yeah.
That is a horrifying story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach Drake said did you have any free time during grad school? I don't think you did. I think the answer is no.
During grad school, my free time, I played Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Advanced Warfare at the time. Oh, no. Elder Scrolls Online was what I was playing.
How did you have time for that?
Oh, so good. I loved playing the competitive match where you would like storm castles and you'd have to like assemble trebuchets and repair your wall. That was the best game. That was like one of my favorite games of all time. It was like World of Warcraft, but on a console.
Yeah, and with better graphics. I never played it, but
better graphics. Yeah.
All right, last question. Are you ready? Let's see if it's a good one.
Yeah, I'm ready.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how neat and tidy is your house?
9.
Oh.
Only because I live with roommates. I I'm very clean. I'm very clean. I'm not necessarily tidy, but I'm very clean. Uh, Before I sit down to do work, I have to get rid of all the dishes, fluff all the
Hmm.
pillows, wipe all the surfaces, empty the dishwasher, get rid of all the dirty food in the fridge, compost everything, water all the plants. So, a thing that I've learned as I've gotten older to be more efficient is to just keep tidy so that,
Yeah.
when I sit down to do work, I don't have to do all those things because I know they're already
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So a 9, but like I would say it's not a 10 because my housemates are very, 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 very clean, but it's still not as clean as I am.
Right. It can never be as clean as you want it with housemates, regardless of.
Exactly. It's never. But I love my housemates. I love them to death, and I wouldn't trade, that 9 for a 10 without them
I love your housemates too.
You do.
I do. I see them in
You do.
Snapchats often. I
You
do.
love
I do.
them. You love them so much.
Well, I feel like this has been very enlightening. I've learned a lot about you. I didn't think that I never pegged you for someone who would have the desire to live in the country. That was a new revelation for me.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what Oreo salad is. I think there might take away your Midwest card for that, but
No one should know what Oreo salad is.
I'm not in charge of handing out those cards. Yeah, Sarah really needs a cookbook. We do a podcast every couple weeks together, me and Sarah, and I swear every episode, and a couple other people, every episode she has a new recipe, and I'm like, Sarah, you're gonna have to write that cookbook because the world needs to know like how to make hot fruit.
Hot dish.
Like, hot dish. Yeah, hot dish.
No one needs to know how to make hot dish. The
No,
Midwest
they
needs to
do.
stay out of cookbooks.
No, I need to know. I grew up in Texas, and we eat a lot of like things
Meat.
that other people don't eat.
White bread.
There's a lot of barbecue. There's a lot of white bread and barbecue, and shotguns on porches, but no hot dish or Oreo salad. That never made it. Speaking of, go ahead.
Lone Star, such a good beer.
Well,
and
yeah.
second of all, the thing about Texas that always threw me off was it was like, we're gonna make you this world-class barbecue. It's gonna be better than any barbecue you've ever had. Here's
Yeah.
a slice of Wonder Bread to put it on.
I mean, but it's good though, and the bread is really to butter the corn, right? The bread is there to cover it in butter and then butter the corn with. Yeah, that's why you get the piece of bread. But then it's also good with like brisket or ribs or whatever. Like the point of the bread is for the corn.
I had no
Okay, well now, this is an educational program. And this is the education. Yes, that we are leaving you with.
I haven't processed that yet.
Oh. It is the best barbecue. If there are any more questions for Gamer Doc, we'll hang out for a couple more minutes as we reminisce about barbecue. I drove to Canada from Texas when we moved here, and I insisted that we go through Nashville so we could have the barbecue. I have to admit, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Like maybe the best meal I ever had.
Dude, you know where you can get a really good barbecue?
Where?
My backyard.
Well, I believe that.
I make a mean swordfish. Charcoal grill.
I believe that too.
Swordfish.
But do you
Also,
cook meat
fish?
at all? Just fish.
Fish. Yeah.
Do you don't make like
someone gave me like fillet to make like a month ago because I was
Okay.
with family and
Yeah.
someone had bought a bunch of fillet and I was like, I don't know how to make this. You could just do it.
Oh, okay. So
But
you're
don't
not
touch my
like
salmon.
I'll take salmon or swordfish. Either of those sounds delicious. You're confused. We're all confused by Midwestern cuisine, but you know what? We'll make Sarah a guest, and we can just talk about Midwestern cuisine.
Hot dish. Just talk about hot dish.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Well, thank you for coming. It's been wonderful having you here. Thank you for breaking your rule and coming on a Saturday.
Rach, or Dr. Court, there's a lot of things that I would break for you. Necks,
Oh,
chains, rules. Just
oh.
I think one of the things that I'm always very strong about is supporting people who support you. If someone's gone to bat for me, I'm gonna go to bat for them. And you have always gone to bat for me. I feel like our friendship has always been something of like two boss ass women doing their own thing and then supporting each other. So,
Yeah.
you can ask me to do a lot of things and I'll say yes. So,
Oh, you're so sweet. Yes,
yeah.
that's right. Women, babes supporting babes all day, every
Babes
day.
upon it,
You're my
babes,
babe. Yep.
babes. But I'm looking
Well,
forward to this stream, and I'm looking forward to
yeah.
seeing the conversations you have and the things that come from it. I think this could be huge.
Yeah, I am really enjoying drawing the curtain back, and I think that it's great to have people like you come on and talk about demystifying, video